It's a place where I love to be. Look in a book, here's a story for you. Who makes stories when the day is through? Who makes stories when the day is through? Story makers, working through the night till the rising sun. Story makers, stories are fabulous, stories are fun. Come and be a story maker.
Imagine a story. Oh, yes, it's a Barnacle Rock story called Smelly Old Boot.
Once upon a tide at Barnacle Rock, something stinky turned up.
Rise and shine, barnacles under the sea. What's so smelly and pongy?
Yes, yes!
Chimed the barnacles.
Someone is making stinky whiffs!
Harry, the seahorse, floated out of the seaweed.
Phew-wee, what a pond!
Electra sparked by in a panic.
Sea monster alert! Everyone hide!
The sea creatures hid, but there was no sign of a sea monster. Are you sure you saw a sea monster? Ellie whispered.
Well, I've never seen anything like it before. It's huge and black and shiny, with long tentacles, and when he gets close, it lets off a terrible pong.
Everyone took a peek. Lying on the seabed was the ghastly-looking creature. Oh, isn't it horrid? Ellie gasped.
And doesn't it pong?
Winced Electra. Gruff, the pufferfish, swam out from behind his slimy stone.
What's that lovely smell?
He asked. Careful, Gruff, it's a sea monster!
No, it isn't a sea monster.
Grumbled Gruff.
I think it's rather lovely.
But whatever can it be?
Hissed Electra.
Perhaps we should ask Papa Clam.
Did somebody call?
Popper Clam appeared from under the sand.
Oh, what's that awful smell?
It's a stinky sea monster, shouted the sea creatures.
No, it isn't.
Said Gruff sulkily. Popper Clam took a closer look.
It's not a sea monster. That there creature is an old boot. The people up top put boots on their feet so it won't hurt if they step on something sharp.
But why does it smell?
Hissed Electra.
Old boots get very stinky. This one could make Barnacle Rock smell for weeks.
Sighed Popper Clam. All the sea creatures looked glum, except for Gruff, who looked quite pleased. But how can we get rid of it? Ellie groaned. It's so big. Suddenly, Electra screamed.
Watch out! There's a hook about!
A fishing hook had appeared. The creatures swam about wildly. Don't panic, shouted Ellie. I've had an idea. Ellie floated up to the hook and nudged it into the boot. They all watched in amazement as the boot was hauled out of the water. Gruff almost shed a tear.
Well done, Ellie.
Boomed Popper Clam.
It smells better already.
Well, that's the end of our whiffy adventure for today, Ellie giggled.
Imagine a story.
It's a Barnacle Rock story.
And it's called Double Trouble.
Once upon a tide at Barnacle Rock, a shiny piece of treasure appeared.
Rise and shine, barnacles under the sea. I found something quite shimmery.
Morning, Ellie!
Chimed the barnacles.
Morning, Ellie.
Called Harry the seahorse.
Oh, what have you found, Ellie?
Asked Electra as she sparked by. Ellie nodded to a very strange object on the seabed. It was round and silvery and smooth, and it seemed to catch colours and let them go. Isn't it lovely? Said Ellie. I wonder what it is.
I think it's the moon.
Chortled the seahorse baby. I'm going to take a closer look, said Ellie.
Isn't she brave?
chimed the barnacles. Ellie floated closer, and what a surprise! There on the moon was another jellyfish, just like her. Come and see! She shouted to the others.
Look, a moon seahorse.
Cried Harry.
And a baby!
Yelled the seahorse baby, popping up in the pouch.
Oh, what a beautiful moony eel.
Drooled Electra.
Strange though, it seems to copy everything I do.
Ellie spoke to the moon jellyfish. Hello, my name is Ellie. Would you like to make friends? The moon jellyfish spoke to her, but she couldn't hear it. Ellie floated even closer, but ouch! She bumped into something hard. I can't get to it, and it can't get to me, she moaned.
What's all the kerfuffle?
Gruff swam out from behind his slimy stone.
Let me through.
He nudged the sea creatures out of the way and stared in surprise.
Well, I'll be another pufferfish.
He said.
Not a lady one, though. Worse luck.
He swam closer and bumped his nose on something hard. The moon puffer copied him.
Ouch! Steady on, sir.
Said Gruff. Papa Clam appeared out of the sand. Hi, Papa Clam. We found the moon, and it's full of moon creatures who look just like us. Ellie giggled.
That's no moon, Ellie, my girl.
Papa Clam smiled.
It's a mirror. The people up top use them so they can see themselves.
Why would they want to do that?
Hissed Electra.
In case they look silly.
Hey, come on, let's have some fun with ourselves.
Hissed Electra. All the sea creatures swam up to the mirror and tried to look silly. Mirrors are loads of fun, laughed Ellie.
Imagine, imagine, imagine a story. It's a Barnacle Rock story, and it's called Giant Sea Snakes and Nasty Monsters.
Once upon a tide at Barnacle Rock, a glassy creature turned up.
Rise and shine, barnacles under the sea. I found something glassy, come and see.
The glassy creature lay half buried on the seabed. It had a huge round window surrounded by a beautiful frame.
Oh, Ellie, stand back! It might be a glass crab!
Cried the barnacles. I don't think so, said Ellie. It doesn't have any pincers. Harry, the seahorse baby, and Electra drifted along, back from a morning swim. Harry, Electra, what do you think this is? Asked Ellie.
Oh, Dad!
Cried the seahorse baby in excitement. Look at its big window,
Stand back, Littly.
said Harry.
We don't know what it is.
But the seahorse baby had already floated up to the glass creature. She took a peek through the window.
Oh!
She cried.
Come and see!
Ellie and Electra and Harry swam up to the window and looked through into a beautiful multicoloured world.
Wow!
Ellie whispered.
It looks like a land of giant rocks and seaweed.
But what's that?
Cried Electra in horror. A nasty great blob of a monster loomed up at the window.
Ah, get back!
Yelled Ellie.
Into the pouch.
Ordered Harry, and the seahorse baby jumped in.
What's all the kerfuffle?
Gruff appeared around the side of the glassy creature.
There's a nasty great blob of a monster through that window, and it's coming straight at us.
Cried Harry.
Gobbled and nobbled and nobbled and gobbled!
Wailed the barnacles. The creatures trembled with fear, but the nasty great blob of a monster didn't appear,
I'm not looking through that window again, no way.
said Harry.
It isn't nice for Littly, not a bit.
Suddenly, a wave of laughter rippled over the seabed. It was Papa Clam who had appeared from under the sand. Hi, Papa Clam, said Ellie. What's so funny?
Nasty great monsters. That there glassy creature is a magnifying glass that makes things look bigger. That nasty great glob of a sea monster was just Gruff made big.
All the sea creatures looked amazed. Gruff swam back behind his slimy stone in a huff.
You've hurt his feelings now.
Chimed the barnacles.
We think you should say sorry.
Oh,
Sorry, Gruff, everyone called. Gruff poked his head up from behind his slimy stone.
Oh, that's all right.
He grumbled. That's the end of our big adventure for today, giggled Ellie.
Imagine a story.
It's a Barnacle Rock story.
And it's called A Gnashing Adventure.
Once upon a tide at Barnacle Rock, the seahorse baby was playing in the seaweed.
Rise and shine, barnacles under the sea. Wake up, come and play Peepy Boo.
Chuckled the barnacles.
Be careful, don't get lost in there, little E.
Harry the seahorse looked rather flustered.
Don't worry, Dad. I'm fine. A monster!
She bolted out of the seaweed and jumped straight into Harry's pouch. Is everyone all right? Ellie the jellyfish floated by to find out what all the noise was about.
There's a monster in the seaweed with big teeth.
Trembled the seahorse baby. Oh, there's no such thing as monsters. I'm going to take a closer look.
Isn't she brave?
Chimed the barnacles. Ellie floated down into the seaweed. Suddenly, in front of her, she saw the toothy monster. Ah! She screamed and rushed out of the seaweed.
What's all the kerfuffle?
Said Gruff the pufferfish, who swam out from behind his slimy stone and headed straight into the seaweed to have a good look at the toothy monster. Suddenly, there was a real kerfuffle in the seaweed.
Ouch! Get her off!
Cried Gruff. He swam out with the toothy monster clenched firmly to his fin.
Help!
Cried Gruff.
It's got me!
With a loud guffaw, Papa Clam appeared from under the sand.
Steady, Gruff, steady.
He laughed.
It's only a set of false teeth.
False teeth? What are false teeth?
The people up top wear them when the real teeth get worn out.
Meanwhile, Gruff was thrashing about trying to get the teeth off his fin. Electra sparked by to see what was going on.
We just need to make the teeth open.
Said Papa Clam. I know. I'll tell the teeth one of my shark jokes. Ellie beamed.
It's worth a try.
Said Harry. I say. What did the shark say to the pufferfish?
We don't know. What did the shark say to the pufferfish?
The sea creatures giggled. Pleased to eat you, Ellie chortled.
That was terrible.
Gruff grumbled. Nothing happened for a moment, but then the teeth started to chuckle. Quietly at first, and then louder and louder, until they opened and let out a huge laugh, letting go of Gruff's fin.
Hooray!
Shouted the sea creatures.
Thanks, Ellie.
Said Gruff.
I need to put a plaster on my sore fin.
And he swam off to his slimy stone as fast as he could. Looks like he's got off by the skin of his teeth, laughed Ellie.
Imagine a story. It's a Barnacle Rock story. Did the wig help? Let's see, shall we? The hairy, scary fish.
Once upon a tide at Barnacle Rock, something hairy turned up, and it landed right on top of Papa Clam. His world suddenly went very dark, even though his shell was open. Later on, Ellie woke up.
Rise and shine, barnacles under the sea. Morning, everyone, how are you?
Very well. Yes, very well indeed.
Chimed the barnacles. Morning, Harry. Morning, Littly, grinned Ellie. Electra arrived too.
I've just seen the strangest looking hairy rainbow fish.
Why don't we take a look? Suggested Ellie. The sea creatures peered over to where the hairy rainbow fish lay. Look at all those lovely colours, said Ellie, floating closer. Hello, she whispered. But just as Ellie reached the hairy rainbow fish, it let out a rather loud burp and started to shake. The sea creatures were rather scared. Suddenly, there was an
Help!
cried Papa Clam, who appeared briefly from under the hairy rainbow creature. Look, cried Ellie, it's Papa Clam! But Papa Clam was gone.
Whatever shall we do?
Hissed Electra. Ellie thought for a moment. We'll have to send for Gruff,
Gruff, are you there?
called Harry.
What sort of kerfuffle?
Grumbled Gruff as he swam out from behind his slimy stone. Oh, Gruff, you have to help us, wailed Ellie. Papa Clam has been nabbed by a hairy rainbow fish.
Stand back, stand back.
Gruff grunted. The sea creatures watched as he swam up to the hairy rainbow fish. He puffed it just far enough away to free Papa Clam,
Thank you, Gruff, me old mate.
said a very happy Papa Clam.
Oh, all of a sudden, everything went dark. Something must have landed on my shell.
He said. It was a hairy rainbow fish, Ellie told him. See for yourself. She nodded to the place in the distance where the hairy rainbow fish lay.
Well, I never.
Muttered Papa Clam.
That's no fish. It's a wig. The people up top put them on their heads sometimes to change the way their hair looks.
All the sea creatures laughed.
Imagine a story. It's a Barnacle Rock story called Lovely Bubbly.
Once upon a tide at Barnacle Rock, a sweet-smelling creature turned up.
Rise and shine, barnacles under the sea. Here's more treasure, wake up, come and see.
What have you found, Ellie? chimed the barnacles. Well, I don't know, replied Ellie. Ellie floated closer. The treasure lay half buried in the sand, wafting out wonderful whiffs. It was really colourful and had a label with letters on it. I wish I could read. Ellie sounded sad.
I can read.
Called Electra as she sparked by. I found some sweet-smelling treasure. What do you think it is? Asked Ellie. Electra swam up to the treasure and studied the letters carefully. Harry and the seahorse baby swam by.
Morning, all. What's that wonderful smell?
Harry asked.
Pooh!
Cried Electra suddenly. All the sea creatures looked very shocked.
Well,
Harry looked stunned.
that's very rude. Into the pouch, Littley, at once.
Dad,
Whined the seahorse baby.
I know all about poo.
At once.
Harry looked very cross. Do you think it's a poo fish? Whispered Ellie.
I've heard stories about them.
Electra frowned. Suddenly, Papa Clam popped up and accidentally nudged the poo fish so it moved in the sand.
Look!
Shouted Electra.
There are more letters. They must have been covered in sand.
She gazed at the label again.
Shampoo!
She hissed,
Never heard of it.
said Harry.
The people up top wash their hair with it.
Papa Clam grinned.
'Cause it makes the hair look all clean and shiny.
Gruff the pufferfish swam out from behind his slimy stone.
How could a pufferfish sleep with all this kerfuffle?
He grumbled.
What's this?
He asked, and he swam over to the shampoo. Then Gruff leaned on the shampoo and gave it a squeeze. Loads of magical bubbles floated out. The sea creatures were amazed. They swam this way and that, chasing the bubbles and popping them. This is fun, laughed Ellie. Thank you, Gruff.
Imagine a story.
It's a Barnacle Rock story.
It's called the Helmet Crab.
Once upon a tide at Barnacle Rock, the seahorse baby woke up early.
Rise and shine, everyone under the sea. Dad, I want to play now, I'm not sleepy.
It's too early.
Groaned Harry.
Stay in the pouch.
He started to snore. The seahorse baby was feeling naughty, so she floated out of the pouch. She hadn't gone far when she found a big cave to explore inside. The cave seemed to have an open window, which was very strange.
I'm going to play forts in here,
cried the seahorse baby. But suddenly, the window closed with a snap, and the seahorse baby was trapped inside. Later, Harry the seahorse woke up.
Out you come, Littly.
He yawned. When Littly didn't appear, he looked in the pouch.
Where is she? Littly, Littly!
What's up, Harry? Said Ellie, appearing from amongst the seaweed.
Littly has gone. I can't find her anywhere.
Cried Harry. Have you seen her, Barnacles? Asked Ellie.
No, we've only just woken up.
Chimed the Barnacles.
Maybe Electra has seen her. No, I haven't seen her anywhere.
Sparked Electra.
I've just woken up too.
What's that?
Harry spotted the strange shiny object on the seabed. Ellie looked puzzled. Is it some sort of crab?
Wait a minute. I can hear something.
Said Harry. A muffled cry came from the object.
It's Littly.
Cried Harry.
What's up?
Popper Clam appeared from under the sand. It looks like Littly is trapped in the belly of a giant crab, Ellie wailed.
Huh,
Popper Clam guffawed.
that's no crab. It's, now, let me think. It's, a helmet for one of those motorcycles. The people up top put helmets on their heads so that if they fall off their bikes, it don't hurt so much.
But how do we open it?
Cried Harry.
My Littly's trapped in there.
Well, we'll need quite a strong fish for this. Hold on a minute. Gruff!
What's all that kerfuffle?
Grumbled Gruff.
Littly is trapped, and you're the strongest fish. We need all your help.
Said Popper Clam. With one mighty nose shove, Gruff pushed open the helmet and the
well
seahorse
done.
baby popped out.
Thank you, Gruff.
She sighed.
You mustn't go off without me.
Said Harry.
You're too little.
Sorry, Dad.
She whispered.
Imagine a story. It's a Barnacle Rock story. And it's called Karaoke.
Once upon a tide at Barnacle Rock, Electra sounded a shark alert.
Oh, shark alert! Everybody hide! Shark alert!
She shouted.
We'll be nobbled and gobbled, nobbled and gobbled.
Cried the Barnacles. All the sea creatures hid, but there was no sign of a shark.
Well, I think it was a shark.
Whispered Electra.
But it wasn't moving, and it did have rather a lot of white teeth.
Let's take a look.
Suggested Popper Clam.
It's over there on the seabed.
Whispered Electra. It does have rather a lot of teeth. Ellie didn't want to get too close.
A shark?
Popper Clam guffawed.
That's no shark. False alarm, everyone. False alarm.
The sea creatures were still a little scared.
Well, what is it then?
Electra hissed.
Now, let me see. It's one of those...
Popper Clam paused for a moment.
It's a keyboard. Yes, that's what it is.
What does it do? Ellie asked, floating closer.
Well, my girl, it makes lots of musical sounds, it does. But it won't work without electricity.
Oh, then I suppose you believe in me.
Smiled Electra, suddenly looking very sparky.
Stand back, everyone.
Electra sent an electrical charge into the keyboard. It played a little musical tune.
Isn't it lovely?
chimed the barnacles.
If you push one of those buttons, it should play some more tunes.
Said Papa Clam. Gruff the pufferfish appeared from behind his slimy rock.
What's all this noise and kerfuffle?
He grumbled.
We've got a keyboard, Gruff.
Chimed the barnacles.
A keyboard?
Exclaimed Gruff.
Hey, why don't we do our favourite thing?
Sparked Electra.
Yes, yes.
Cried Gruff.
Let's have a karaoke night. Hey, Mr. Keyboard, play our favourite song.
Called Harry. The keyboard started to play and everyone began to sing.
A pan of bubbly rice. Half a pan of treacle. That's the way the money goes. Pop goes the weasel. Half a pan of bubbly rice. Half a pan of treacle. That's the way the money goes. Pop goes the weasel.
All the sea creatures spent the rest of the day singing and dancing.
Treacle. That's the way the money goes. Pop goes the weasel.
Imagine, imagine, imagine a story.
It's a Barnacle Rock story. What's it called?
It's called Puffy Love.
Once upon a tide at Barnacle Rock, something spiky turned up.
Rise and shine, barnacles under the sea. I found something spiky, come and see.
The spiky thing lay on the seabed looking mysterious.
It's all weird and spiky.
Chimed the barnacles. I wonder what it is. Perhaps we should ask Papa Clam. Papa Clam, Ellie called.
The lazy clam's still asleep under the sand.
Oh well, said Ellie. I suppose we'll just have to wait until he shows himself. She wobbled off to find Electra. Meanwhile, Gruff the pufferfish swam out from behind his slimy stone to take a closer look at the spiky treasure.
Hello.
He nudged its button with his nose, and it puffed out to an enormous size.
Well, 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 a lady pufferfish.
He crooned.
Aren't you lovely? I'm charmed to meet you.
Meanwhile, Ellie found Electra and Harry, who had been helping the seahorse baby learn her numbers. Would you like to come and see my spiky thing? She asked.
Yes, please.
Cried the seahorse baby. Come on then, follow me. Ellie and the rest of the sea creatures crept up on Gruff and the spiky thing. What's Gruff up to? Ellie whispered.
Would you like to see my den?
Gruff was asking the spiky thing.
I think you'll like it. It's behind a beautiful slimy stone.
The spiky thing said nothing.
Well, later perhaps.
Oh dear, whispered Ellie. Gruff thinks the spiky thing is another pufferfish. Papa Clam had finally woken up and joined Ellie and the other creatures.
That's no puffer fish.
Said Papa Clam, trying his hardest not to let out an enormous guffaw.
That, my girl, is an umbrella. The people up top use it to keep dry when it rains.
Gruff gave the umbrella a big, sloppy kiss.
Kissy, kissy, puffer, fishy, yuck, yuck, yuck.
Chimed the barnacles.
What's all the kerfuffle about?
Gruff grumbled.
Come out, all of you. I know you're in there.
The sea creatures showed themselves.
Now then,
Gruff looked very cross.
who would like to tell me what's so funny?
That isn't a puffer fish.
Giggled the seahorse baby before anyone could stop her.
It's an umbrella.
Well, I knew that.
Gruff looked sad. Don't worry, Gruff, laughed Ellie. I'm sure you'll find a girlfriend one day.
Imagine a story.
Oh, it's a Barnacle Rock story.
And it's called The Tentacley Eel.
Papa Clam and Ellie say hi. Little Lee and Harry say ho. With Gruff and Electra, they're gonna search for treasure down amongst the barnacles of Barnacle Rock.
Once upon a tide at Barnacle Rock, Electra woke up feeling whizzy and sparky.
Wake up, barnacles! It's a lovely morning!
She fizzed.
It's too early!
Groaned the barnacles.
We're not ready to wake up! Oh, all right. Keep the shells on. Oh, morning, Harry!
Shush! You'll wake Little and she's feeling a bit poorly.
Oh, sorry!
Hissed Electra.
Now what am I gonna do?
Then suddenly she noticed something mysterious twisted around the seaweed. It was shimmer as silver and longly bendy like her, but it had two rather odd-looking tentacles.
Ooh,
She gasped.
a silvery eel with long tentacles. Hello, Chuck. Welcome to Barnacle Rock.
The Tentacley Eel didn't answer, but just quivered a little.
Hey, you'll have to speak up. I can't hear you.
Electra hissed.
Are you stuck? Never mind. I'll pull you out in no time.
She curled her body around the mysterious creature and pulled, but it was no use. It wouldn't come free.
Electra, stop shaking the seaweed. Oh, you've woken Little now.
It's okay, Dad. I'm feeling better. I'm so sorry, Harry, love. It's just that, well, this rather handsome young man is stuck in the seaweed and I can't get him free. Would you help me?
Oh, all right.
Harry sighed. He curled his tail around Electra, who curled herself around the mysterious creature.
Steady. Steady.
Tentacly!
Chimed the barnacles, waking up.
What's all the kerfuffle?
Grumbled Gruff.
Electra's friend is tangled up in the seaweed.
Cried Little.
Right then, let's sort this out good and proper.
And the tail end came free, but it was a very strange tail end indeed.
Hasn't it got a funny bottom?
Giggled the seahorse baby.
That's not an eel with a funny bottom. It's a stethoscope. Up top, there are people called doctors who look after you when you're poorly, and they use a stethoscope to listen to your body.
I was feeling poorly, wasn't I?
Chortled Little.
Can you listen to my body?
Well, put your belly next to that suckery thing, and we'll listen to you.
So the sea creatures checked Little with the stethoscope,
She sounds very grumpy.
said Electra.
That's because her tummy's rumbling.
Guffawed Papa Clown. I think it's time for breakfast, giggled Ellie. That's the end of our Tentacly adventure for today.
Imagine a story. Oh, it's a Barnacle Rock story.
And it's called The Oogly Googly Fing.
Papa Clam and Ellie say hi. Little Lee and Harry say ho. With Gruff and Electra, they're gonna search for treasure down amongst the barnacles of Barnacle Rock.
Once upon a tide at Barnacle Rock, something noisy turned up.
What the sparks is that terrible ringing sound?
Electra hissed,
Make it stop! Chop, chop!
cried the barnacles. The creatures searched the seabed to find out where the ringing sound was coming from.
Here's what's causing the trouble.
Grumbled Gruff. There on the sand was a very strange-looking creature with lots of little bulgy eyes, a curly coily tail, and a huge claw.
Isn't it Oogly and Googly?
Marvelled the seahorse baby.
Don't touch it, Little.
Called Harry.
We don't know what it is. It might be a biter.
Grinned Gruff. It's still ringing, sighed Ellie. Why don't we tell it to shush?
Oh, all right.
Hissed Electra.
1, 2, 3, shush!
Shushed everyone. Just like that, the creature stopped ringing.
Thanks, Sparks, for that!
Hissed Electra. Ellie floated over.
Isn't she brave?
Chimed the barnacles. Hello. I'm sorry we shushed you just now. At that moment, the creature started to talk.
Sorry, all our operators are busy. Your call is held in a queue and will be answered shortly.
The oogly googly creature stopped talking and started playing music.
Hold on a minute.
Grinned Gruff.
I know this one. You play it, I'll sing it.
And he burst into song.
This pupper lives under the ocean. This pupper lives under the sea.
Yes, he does.
And all of my friends think I'm grumpy. But it's my way of being happy.
Up popped Papa Clam.
Oh, what's that terrible singing?
Playing with an oogly googly thing.
Chortled the seahorse baby.
Oogly googly.
Before Papa Clam.
That there watching the call is a telephone. The people up top use them to speak to their faraway friends.
Said everyone.
Our operators are still busy. Please try again later,
said the oogly googly creature. Then it went silent.
All gone.
Littly sighed.
Thank heavens for that.
Guffawed Papa Clam.
That's enough ringing and singing for today.
Giggled Ellie.
Imagine a story.
Oh, what's it going to be? It's a Barnacle Rock story. And it's called Spindly Spinnerfish.
Papa Clam and Ellie say hi. Hi. Little Lee and Harry say ho. Ho. With Gruff and Electra, they're gonna search for treasure down amongst the barnacles of Barnacle Rock. Yeah.
Once upon a tide at Barnacle Rock, Ellie, Gruff and Harry were teaching Little the Okie Floaty.
Your whole self in, your whole self out. In, out, he's making all about.
Suddenly, Electra fizzed by in a shower of sparks.
Hey, watch out! There's a spindly spinnerfish about! Everybody hide!
She hissed.
Eat and gobble!
Wailed the barnacles.
Oh, bless my curly coils! I'm sure I saw something!
Electra hissed.
Oh, yes, it's still there on the seabed! Look!
Electra nodded towards a very curious creature. It was round with spindly bits and it was spinning.
What can it be?
Whispered Ellie.
It's a giant starry fish.
Littly chortled.
Come on,
Grumped Gruff.
let's take a closer look.
The creatures floated over to the strange visitor.
Gosh, it's making me feel giddy because it's so spinny.
Giggled Ellie.
Slow down, mate.
Grumbled Gruff.
You're giving me an headache.
Oh, it's not listening!
Hissed Electra.
How rude!
I'll try and slow it down, called Ellie, flinging herself on top of the creature.
It isn't great!
Cried the barnacles.
Whoa. Yeah.
Ellie twirled around with the spindly spinnerfish.
Oh, Dad!
Chortled Littly.
That looks like fun.
And before Harry could stop her, she jumped on.
Oh, Little, oh, for goodness sake, no. Come back, Little.
Shouted Harry.
Papa Clam, wake up quick!
Cried the barnacles. Papa Clam appeared from under the sand. When he saw his friends spinning around, he roared with laughter.
It's all right, barnacles. They won't get nobbled. Look, it's slowing down now.
Sure enough, the spindly fish slowly stopped spinning. Ellie and Littly jumped off.
Isn't the spinny fish whizzy, Papa Clam?
Giggled Littly.
That there spinning thing isn't a fish, Littly, my girl.
Guffawed Papa Clam.
It's a bicycle wheel.
Oh, and what's a bicycle, Mr. Clever Clam?
Hissed Electra.
It's a thing with two wheels. The children up top ride about on them to get where they're going.
I think I'll stick to swimming if you don't mind.
Grumbled Gruff.
That's the end of our giddy adventure for today.
Ellie giggled.
Imagine a story.
Oh, what will it be?
What is it?
It's a Barnacle Rock story. And it's called Who's for Lunch?
Papa Clam and Ellie say hi. Little Lee and Harry say ho. With Gruff and Electra, they're gonna search for treasure down amongst the barnacles of Barnacle Rock.
Once upon a tide at Barnacle Rock, something large and pink from up top plopped onto the seabed, and it just missed the barnacles' heads.
Help! Help! It nearly knocked our noodles off!
They cried. Ellie and Little were playing nearby. They swam over to take a peek.
Ooh.
Chortled Little.
Look at the pretty thing! It's a giant puppy clam!
It's a very odd-looking clam, said Ellie. They peered through the chink in the giant clam's shell. Something was shining.
That looks like very special treasure. I'm going in to get it,
whispered Ellie.
Be careful!
Called Little.
Isn't she great?
Chimed the barnacles. Suddenly...
Help! Help!
Ellie wailed.
Nobbled and gobbled!
Cried the barnacles. Electra appeared in a shower of sparks, followed closely by Harry.
Oh, Dad!
Whispered Little.
Ellie's been gobbled by a giant pink clam!
It's all right, Little,
said Harry softly.
Well, I never...
Hissed Electra.
Shush a minute, I can hear her!
Oh, it's a bit whiffy in here.
Said Ellie from inside the clam.
There's no need to panic.
Boomed Papa Clam, appearing from under the sand.
That there pink thing isn't a clam.
Well, what is it then?
Hissed Electra.
It's a lunchbox. I say, it's all right, Ellie. It's only a lunchbox.
Papa Clam bellowed.
What's all the kerfuffle?
Gruff grumped.
Oh, I see. You've got yourselves in another right old pickle, have you, eh?
Right, here's the plan,
said Papa Clam, ignoring Gruff's grumping.
You've all got to push the lid open. Right. After 3, are you ready? 1, 2, 3...
The sea creatures used every ounce of their strength to push open the lid of the lunchbox. It wasn't easy, but...
Hooray!
They cried.
Oh, thank you.
Ellie beamed.
It was getting very stinky in there.
Little swam over and gave her a nuzzle.
What is a lunchbox anyway?
Ellie asked.
Well, seeing as you asked,
boomed Papa Clam.
The children up top fill 'em with food and then take 'em to school for their lunch.
Chimed the barnacles. Everyone laughed.
I think that's enough nibbling and nuzzling for one day.
Giggled Ellie.
Imagine, imagine, imagine a story. It's a Barnacle Rock story.
And it's called Gruff Moves House.
Papa Clam and Ellie say hi. Little Lee and Harry say ho. With Gruff and Electra, they're gonna search for treasure down amongst the barnacles of Barnacle Rock.
Once upon a tide at Barnacle Rock, a great kerfuffle woke Ellie up. It was coming from behind Gruff's slimy stone.
Morning, barnacles,
called Ellie.
Who's making all that noise, and why is Gruff's slimy stone wobbling about?
Morning, Ellie!
Chimed the barnacles.
Gruff's trying to move house. He's ever so grumpy, so watch out.
Ellie floated over to take a closer look. Gruff was pushing his stone as hard as he could.
It's no good. I can't move it.
He grumbled.
What are you up to, Gruff?
Ellie asked.
I want to move house.
He grunted.
But I want to take my house with me. Sea snails do it, so why can't I?
Because your stone is too heavy,
laughed Ellie.
Why don't you find a new stone instead?
Not likely.
Gruff huffed.
No stone could be as beautiful and slimy as this one.
Then Electra and Harry swam by.
Come and help us move Gruff's house,
called Ellie. But just as the creatures were about to start pushing, something fell from above. It was huge and hooky, and it had a long tail that stretched up out of sight.
Look out, there's an hook-headed snake about!
Sparked Electra. The creatures hid in the seaweed. After a while, Ellie peeped out to see if the snake was still about. Yes, it was still there all right, and it had lodged one of its hooks under Gruff's stone. Perhaps we should ask Papa Clam what it is, suggested Ellie.
Did somebody call?
Papa Clam appeared from underneath the sand.
Now help us for spark's sake before we get gobbled up by an hook-headed snake!
Hissed Electra.
That's no snake, Electra, my girl. It's an anchor. The people up top drop them from their ships to stop them floating off. Then they pull them up when they want the ships to start moving again. It's all right, Gruff. It won't be there forever.
Good,
grumped Gruff. Suddenly, with a big jolt, the anchor shot upwards, taking Gruff's stone with it.
Come back, stone,
cried Gruff.
Nobble and wobble!
Chimed the barnacles. Gruff's stone landed safely on the seabed a little way off from its old resting place. Everyone quivered nervously, but Gruff was looking proudly at his slimy stone.
I've moved home after all.
He grinned. That's enough excitement for one day, smiled Ellie.
Imagine, imagine, imagine a story!
Oh, it's a Barnacle Rock story!
It's called The Beautiful Ballfish.
Papa Clam and Ellie say hi. Hi. Little Lee and Harry say ho. Ho. With Gruff and Electra they're gonna search for treasure down amongst the barnacles of Barnacle Rock. Yeah.
Once upon a tide at Barnacle Rock, something lovely turned up. It was shiny red and floaty round, and it had a curly, swirly silver tail that danced along behind it.
Wake up, barnacles!
Cried Ellie.
I found the most beautiful ballfish you ever did see. Oh, it's lovely!
Chimed the barnacles.
Excuse me, Miss Ballfish, but perhaps you'd like to stop bobbing about for a bit and have a chat. My name's Ellie. I'm a jellyfish.
The ballfish didn't answer. It just drifted off in a rather lovely way.
Oh, blow! I've lost it now,
Ellie puffed. A little further along the seabed, Harry and Little the seahorse baby were practicing keeping still when the ballfish floated by.
Dad, look at that!
Cried Little and touched its shiny skin with the tip of her nose. The ballfish let out a tiny squeak.
Stand back, Little, we don't know what it is,
called Harry.
I know what it is.
Gruff swam out from behind his slimy stone.
It's a rare silver-tailed globe puffer. And if I'm not mistaken, this one's a lady.
The lovely creature flashed its swirly tail at Gruff.
I think she likes you, Gruff.
Said Harry in amazement.
Of course she likes me,
boasted Gruff. He did some upside-down bobbing for the visitor and then let out a loud burp. Ellie floated up.
Hi, everyone. Oh, wow, you found my beautiful ballfish.
Actually, this lovely creature is a lady puffer.
Puffed Gruff. Papa Clam appeared from under the sand.
Hey, that's no puffer fish, Gruff, me old cockle. Hey, that there lovely creature is a balloon. The people up top have them at parties. But watch out, because they pop if they touch anything sharp or hot.
Electra sparked by.
Hey, what's been going on? And what's this?
She swam around the balloon, hissing and fizzing. Everyone gasped, then bang! One of her sparks hit the balloon. Everyone hid in the seaweed.
Oh, it's all right. That there bang was just the sound of the balloon popping.
All that was left of the balloon were some little red shreds on Gruff's stone. Gruff was sad.
Oh, sorry,
whispered Electra.
Cheer up, Gruff, me old chum. Balloons don't last forever,
said Papa Clam.
And look, the pieces have decorated your stone,
said Harry. Gruff grinned.
Well, that's enough sparking and popping for one day,
smiled Ellie.
Imagine, imagine.
Imagine a story!
Oh, it's a Barnacle Rock story.
Oh, and it's called Honey, I'm Stuck.
Papa Clam and Ellie say hi. Hi. Little Lee and Harry say ho. Ho. With Gruff and Electra, they're gonna search for treasure down amongst the barnacles of Barnacle Rock. Yeah.
Once upon a tide at Barnacle Rock, Ellie was on her morning treasure hunt when something mysterious turned up. It was glassy and hard, and it lay glooping a trail of golden goo onto the seabed.
Look, look, Ellie called. I think I found a shell that's been left behind by a giant sea snail.
Gooey, gooey, slimy trail!
Chimed the barnacles. On the side of the glassy treasure was a picture of some stripy winged creatures. They're funny fish, Ellie thought, as she took a closer look.
Isn't she brave?
Chimed the barnacles. Soon, Ellie was covered in sticky slime.
Help! I'm stuck!
She cried.
Nobble and gobble!
Cried the barnacles. Electra sparked by.
Oh, whatever's happened? Ellie's gooey, stuck and sticky. Don't panic, Ellie. I'll rescue you.
Electra tried to pull Ellie out of the goo, but Ellie was so sticky that Electra got stuck too.
Somebody save us for Spark's sake!
She hissed. Gruff swam out from behind his slimy stone.
All right, ladies, don't panic. I'll have you unstuck in no
He
time.
boomed. But as soon as Gruff touched Electra, he found he was stuck too.
Help!
Cried Electra.
I'm stuck to a grumpy puffer.
Kissy, puffy, very funny.
Giggled the barnacles. Harry and Littley swam by.
Oh dear, what's the matter here?
We're stuck!
They all shouted. Harry tried to curl his tail around Gruff and pull him free, but Gruff was very sticky and gloopy.
Oh dear, I've gone and got myself stuck now.
Puppy clam,
Shouted Littley.
Hey, did somebody call?
Up came Papa Clam.
What a sticky mess!
Isn't funny.
Cried Ellie.
We're stuck in a giant sea snail slimy trail.
That's no snail trail, Ellie, my girl. That there glassy thing is a jar of honey. It's made by creatures called bees. The people up top like to eat it.
That's very interesting. But how do we get unstuck?
Lick up the honey and you'll soon be free.
Grinned Papa Clam.
Licky, licky, quick, quick!
Chimed the barnacles. Everyone joined in the feast, and soon they were all unstuck with their tummies full of sweet, gooey honey.
That's the end of our sticky adventure for today.
Grinned Ellie.
Imagine a story. Oh, it's a Barnacle Rock story.
Hey, the Swingy, Upsy, Downy story.
Papa Clam and Ellie say hi. Hi. Little Lee and Harry say ho. Ho. With Gruff and Electra, they're gonna search for treasure down amongst the barnacles of Barnacle Rock. Yeah.
Once upon a tide at Barnacle Rock, something peculiar turned up while Ellie, Harry and Littley were playing hide and seek.
Coming, ready or not.
Shouted Harry. Littley rushed to find a hiding place, but bumped into something large and scary. Ah! She raced back to Harry and jumped into the pouch.
What's the matter?
Said Harry.
There's a scary thing in the sand with longy arms and shelly hands.
She whispered shakily. Electra appeared in a shower of sparks.
Whatever's going on?
Littley's seen something scary,
said Ellie.
I'm going to take a closer look.
Oh, right, me too.
Hissed Electra.
Aren't they brave?
Chimed the barnacles. Ellie and Electra swam along the seabed and saw the most peculiar creature. It had a tall body and two long, stretchy, outy arms, each of which had a large golden shell dangling from it.
What the spark's gonna be?
Hissed Electra.
Perhaps it's something for swinging it,
said Ellie, jumping in. It dropped down a little and swung about.
Whee! This is fun,
she shouted. Electra jumped into the other. It too dropped down and swung about, but This time, Ellie's shell went up in the air.
Well, I never... Hey, Harry!
Electra sparked.
Look at this!
Harry floated over. Little peeped out of the pouch. The strange creature didn't look scary anymore. Harry and Little swam into the shell with Ellie. It dropped down and swung about while Electra's shot up in the air.
Oh, my!
She shrieked.
What are you lot up to?
Grumbled Gruff.
Swinging up and down!
Shrieked Electra.
Squeeze in with me, Chuck, you'll love it!
Well, all right.
Gruff had to agree. It did look like fun. Down they shot and up went Harry, Little and Ellie.
Oh, hey now, don't you lot look silly.
Hi, Papa Clam. We don't know what this is, but it's fun.
Giggled Ellie.
That there swingy upsy downy thing is what people up top know as weighing scales. They use them to tell how heavy things are. Now, the side that's up is the lightest side.
That's us,
shouted Ellie.
And the side that's low down is the heaviest.
Oh, that's us!
Hissed Electra.
And if it's in the middle, it means that each side weighs the same.
At that moment, Ellie jumped out of her side and Gruff jumped out of his, making the scales balance.
Hey, Harry, love, does this mean we're made for each other?
Electra blew Harry a kiss. Everyone laughed.
That's the end of our swingy, upsy, downy adventures for today, beamed Ellie.
Imagine a story.
It's a Barnacle Rock story.
And it's called the Jacketybox.
Papa Clam and Ellie say hi. Little Lee and Harry say ho. With Gruff and Electra, they're gonna search for treasure down amongst the barnacles of Barnacle Rock. Yeah!
Once upon a tide at Barnacle Rock, something so surprising turned up that even Papa Clam wasn't sure what it was.
Papa Clam, tell us what it is if you can.
Chimed the barnacles.
It's, now, let me see.
He mumbled.
Hey, come on, Chuck, admit it. You don't know what it is, do you?
Hissed Electra.
Papa Clam knows everything.
Chortled Little. The mystery object was a tinny box with a lid on the top and one skinny stuck-out arm.
It's, whatchamacall.
Papa Clam looked puzzled.
What does this do, Puppy Clam?
Chortled Little. She jumped on the skinny arm, which started to turn.
I'm twirly-whirly.
Stop that, Little.
Cried Harry. But the skinny arm twirled round and round, with Little on the end of it, and it was playing music.
That's my favourite tune,
Ellie gasped. The faster Little spun, the faster the music played.
Spinny, swingy.
She chortled.
Stop!
Yelled Harry. But suddenly, pop! The lid of the tinny box blasted open, and up shot a furry creature. Everyone disappeared into the seaweed at top speed.
Bubble and bubble.
Cried the barnacles.
Come out!
Guffawed Papa Clam.
I know what it is now. It won't hurt you.
The creatures drifted out of the seaweed. Papa Clam looked very pleased with himself.
That there mystery object is in fact a Jacketybox.
A Jacketybox.
Chortled the seahorse baby.
That's right, Little my girl. It's a kind of toy for the children up top. Now then, you push that there furry creature down and close the lid. Go on, it won't bite.
Together, the creatures all pushed the lid down.
Then you turn the handle. That's right, Little. Faster.
The music started again. It got faster and faster, and the sea creatures felt giddier and giddier until suddenly...
You want to try stopping that popping? It's making me twitchy.
Grumbled Gruff.
Dad, where did Puppy Clam go?
I don't know, Little.
Everyone jumped and fried.
I'm being a clam in a box.
He guffawed.
And we're being pop-up barnacles.
Chimed the barnacles.
Well, that's the end of our pop-up adventure for today.
Giggled Ellie.
Imagine. Imagine a story.
Here it comes.
Oh, it's a Barnacle Rock story.
And it's called Tambourine Moon.
Papa Clam and Ellie say hi. Little Lee and Harry say ho. With Gruff and Electra, they're gonna search for treasure down amongst the barnacles of Barnacle Rock. Yeah!
Once upon a tide at Barnacle Rock, Harry was singing Little a lullaby.
I love my nuzzly seahorse baby, yes I do. And if I could, I'd give her the moon.
Suddenly, something moony floated down through the waves. It landed on the sand with a rattly jangle.
No!
Harry and Little hid in the seaweed. The moony thing sat silently on the seabed, looking dreamy and creamy. Harry and Little floated past to take a closer look.
Wake up, barnacles! The moon has fallen into the sea!
Said Harry.
The stars will be lonely without it, and perhaps the sky will come looking for it.
Cried Little.
What should we do? What should we do?
Chimed the barnacles. Ellie had an idea.
Push it up to the topmost waves and maybe the wind will whisk it away,
she suggested.
Isn't she clever?
Chimed the barnacles. So Ellie, Harry and Little pushed it and shoved it, but they couldn't budge it. It rattled and tinkled a little, but that was all.
It's no use,
sighed Harry.
We're just not strong enough.
Well, whatever are you on to?
Hissed Electra.
We're trying to move the fallen moon. You can help too.
Ellie puffed.
Not jump, Chuck. I'm really strong, I am.
Hissed Electra. This time they managed to haul it higher. Then it slipped again. Clang, rattle.
What's all the kerfuffle?
Grumbled Gruff.
We're heaving the moon back up to the sky.
Hissed Electra. And they all heaved and hoed with all their might.
What the prickly winkles are you up to?
Boomed Popper Clam.
The moony fell into the sea, but we're going to give it back to the sky, aren't we, Dad?
Chuckled Little.
That's no moon, Little my girl. It's a tambourine. The people up top shake and rattle them along to music.
I can't hold it up anymore,
said Ellie. The creatures let go, and the tambourine fell back onto the sand with a rattle and a bang. Everyone looked sad.
Can we keep it, Dad?
Little whispered.
I don't see why not. It can be our very own Tambourine Moon. We can hang it in the seaweed. Let me get my breath back first.
Grumped Gruff.
That's enough muscle for one day,
giggled Ellie.
We could all do with the rest.
Imagine, imagine, imagine a story. Monstering machine. It's a Barnacle Rock story.
Oh, and it's called A Parcel for Gruff.
Papa Clam and Ellie say hi. Little Lee and Harry say ho. With Gruff and Electra, they're gonna search for treasure down amongst the barnacles of Barnacle Rock. Yeah!
Once upon a tide at Barnacle Rock, Little couldn't get comfy in the pouch. So while Harry was snoring, she swam off to find her friends. All was still, all was hushed. Even the sea seemed to whisper, shh.
Where is everybody?
She wondered.
Still sleeping, I suppose.
Suddenly, she saw something strange on the seabed.
Oh, a brown crinkly stone.
She swam a little closer. The brown, crinkly stone had a little square of white on it, which was covered in squiggles.
I'm going to show it to my friends. Wakey, wakey, everybody. Wakey up, big wide.
Chimed the barnacles.
I found a brown, crinkly stone.
said Littly. All the creatures gathered round.
Oh, I don't like the look of it.
Harry frowned.
I hope it's slimy.
Grumbled Gruff. These squiggles look like letters. I wonder what they say.
Oh, let's have a look. I'm quite good at reading me.
Sparked Electra.
Oh, it says, for Gruff, to Puff. Hey, Gruff love, it's for you.
And it sounds like you're supposed to puff it, said Ellie. Gruff couldn't see how he was supposed to puff it.
It's a parcel, Gruff, mate.
Boomed Popper Clam.
The people up top send each other parcels, and it looks like someone sent one to you. Break open the crinkly paper and see what's inside.
Gruff started to break open the paper with his nose, but it was a tricky job.
Come on, you lot. Don't just stand there.
Everyone helped to break the paper, and hundreds of tiny sea snakes wriggled out.
Sea snakes!
Popper Clam guffawed.
That's just stuffing. It's to keep whatever's inside from getting broken.
Well, what's this then?
It's a trumpet.
Chuckled Popper Clam.
If you blow through that spouty bit, it makes beautiful music. Go on then, Gruff. Give it a go.
Gruff puffed through the spout, and a very loud sound came out.
That was loud, wasn't it?
Oh, it doesn't sound very beautiful to me.
Hissed Electra, as Gruff gave the trumpet another enormous puff.
Give it a puff.
I like the stuffing best, giggled Littly.
There's some in your pouch, Dad. It looks really comfy.
Everyone chuckled. That's the end of our wrinkly, crinkly, huffy, puffy adventure for today, giggled Ellie.
Imagine, imagine, imagine a story.
What's it going to make with your bag? Oh, it's a Barnacle Rock story. And it's called Peepy Boo.
Papa Clam and Ellie say hi. Hi. Little Lee and Harry say ho. Ho. With Gruff and Electra they're gonna search for treasure down amongst the barnacles of Barnacle Rock. Yeah.
Once upon a tide at Barnacle Rock, Littly and Dad were playing.
Dad, let's play Peepy Boo.
Littly chortled. Ellie floated over.
All right then, but stay close to Ellie, Littly.
Ellie and Littly swam off. They hadn't gone far when they discovered a glassy pink shell on the seabed.
Isn't it lovely?
Gasped Ellie. The shell was slightly open. Littly peered inside.
I wonder what's inside.
Before Ellie could stop her, Littly squeezed through the opening.
Peepy Boo! Peepy Boo, Ellie! Morning, Ellie, Chuck!
Electra sparked by.
Peepy Boo!
Chortled Littly.
Oh, Littly, love, whatever are you doing in there?
I think she's stuck, frowned Ellie.
Gobble her double!
Cried the barnacles, waving their arms around wildly.
I'm not gobbly obbled, I'm all right, and I like my pink Peepy Boo shell. Well, you'll have to come out sometime, Chuck.
Ellie and Electra swam around the pink shell, but they couldn't see how to open it.
Peepy Boo!
Gruff swam out from behind his slimy stone. Chortled Littly.
What you up to, Littly?
She's stuck inside this glassy pink shell, and we don't know how to open it.
Gruff took a closer look.
What's that toothy creature that's in there with her?
He grumbled. There was a black toothy creature in the shell.
Oh, I hope it's friendly.
Hissed Electra. Just then, Popper Clam popped up from under the sand.
Oh, thank goodness you're here. Littly's trapped inside a pink shell with a toothy creature.
That's no pink shell. It's a handbag. The ladies up top like to keep their bits and bobs in 'em. And the thing with the teeth is a comb for combing hair. Now then, Littly, we'd better get you out.
Peepy Boo, Popper Clam.
The creatures pushed and nudged, and out popped Littly.
Give me the shot,
Well, I must say, you're very good at playing Peepy Boo. It took me ages to find you.
Harry nuzzled Littly.
It was fun, Dad.
I think we've had enough Peepy Boo games for one day, giggled Ellie.
Imagine, imagine, imagine a story.
Oh, it's a Barnacle Rock story.
And it's called The Orange Thingy Bobber.
Papa Clam and Ellie say hi. Hi. Little Lee and Harry say ho. Ho. With Gruff and Electra they're gonna search for treasure down amongst the barnacles of Barnacle Rock. Yeah.
Once upon a tide at Barnacle Rock, Gruff found a home that was nicer than his slimy stone. It was large and round with dingly-dangly, frangly bits all around its bottom.
This is what I call fancy.
He swam around it.
Here, there's an hole at the bottom, and it's hollow inside like a cave.
Gruff squeezed inside. It was so cosy that he decided to have a little snooze. Electra sparked by.
Hey, look at this orange thingy bobber.
She swam closer.
It sounds as if there's a grumpfish inside it.
Oh, I've heard about them.
Harry floated out of the seaweed.
They're grumpy and bitey.
Oh, bitey!
Chimed the barnacles.
I want to see the bitey fish, Dad.
Littly swam off to the top of the orange thingy bobber.
Come back!
Called Harry.
Dad, I can see inside, and there's a...
Oh dear, Littly had fallen in.
Don't worry, we're coming to get you out.
Suddenly, Littly's head poked out of the hole in the top.
I'm all righty, Dad. There isn't a bitey fish inside. It's only Gruff.
Electra and Harry squeezed in with Littly and Gruff. It wasn't long before they were all fast asleep. Ellie swam by. Hello, look at your dangly-frangly tentacles. You must be a jellyfish like me. The orangey thingy bobber let out a snuffly snore. I like your twirly dangle dance. May I dance too? So they did. But suddenly, Electra, Gruff, Harry, and Littly poked their heads out of the top.
I like your dancing, Harry.
Littly giggled.
What the prickly wiggle's going on?
Boomed Papa Clam, appearing from under the sand.
And what are you lot doing inside a lampshade?
Oh, what?
A lampshade. The people up top hang 'em over their light bulbs to make 'em look pretty.
It isn't a dancing jellyfish, then? Ellie looked sad.
Well, no, but you can still dance with it, Ellie, my girl. But why don't we all join in?
That's the end of our dingle-dangle adventure for today, giggled Ellie.
Imagine, imagine, imagine a story. It's a Barnacle Rock story. And it's called The Pink Tinklefish.
Papa Clam and Ellie say hi. Hi. Little Lee and Harry say ho. Ho. With Gruff and Electra they're gonna search for treasure down amongst the barnacles of Barnacle Rock. Yeah.
Once upon a tide at Barnacle Rock, something strange happened. The barnacles woke up and were surrounded by sparkly creatures.
Hip, hip, hooray! Aren't we looking lovely today?
They chimed. Electra sparked by.
I'm Electra the Queen, and don't I look smashing and green?
Harry, Littly, and Ellie floated over with strange, sparkly shelled creatures stuck to their heads.
We're surrounded by strange, beady creatures,
whispered Harry. It was true. There were little trails of them all along the seabed. I'm going to follow the trail and see where it leads, said Ellie.
Isn't she brave?
Chimed the barnacles. Ellie followed the trail to a spangly-looking box that lay on the seabed. Who should be trying to squeeze inside but Gruff?
Hello, Gruff. What are you up to?
Ellie asked.
I found a palace and I'm going to live in it. But first I've got to get the door open.
He grumbled.
We'll help,
cried the creatures. And they heaved at the lid. It burst open and up popped a slim pink fish.
Oh dear, Gruff. Someone already lives there,
said Ellie. Littly had found a sticky outy thing at the front of the box. She jumped on it. The slim pink fish started to twirl. Everyone gasped.
Twirly, whirly, pinkish tinklefish!
Chimed the barnacles.
Oh, what a beautiful musical jewellery box!
Boomed Papa Clam, appearing from under the sand.
And don't you look a right bunch of Bobby Dazzlers!
We're covered in beady creatures!
Barked Electra.
They're jewels, Electra, my girl. They must have dropped out of the box.
Papa Clam chuckled.
So what's this pink tinklefish doing then?
Grumbled Gruff.
She's a ballerina!
Guffawed Papa Clam.
When you turn the key, she dances to the music, like this.
Can we keep the pretty jewels, Dad?
Asked Littly.
I don't see why not. I like a bit of sparkle.
Chortled Harry. All the creatures rattled their jewels and twirly-whirled to the tinkly music. That's the end of our tinkly-twinkly adventure for today, Ellie giggled.
Imagine, imagine, imagine a story. I hope it has a holy thing in it. Yeah. Oh, it's a Barnacle Rock story.
And it's called Wee.
Papa Clam and Ellie say hi. Hey! Little Lee and Harry say ho. Ho! With Gruff and Electra they're gonna search for treasure down amongst the barnacles of Barnacle Rock. Yeah!
Once upon a tide at Barnacle Rock, Electra was doing her morning stretching exercises when she saw a silverish arm lying on the sand.
Oh, eek, it's a silver grabber monster. Oh, help, help, grab me,
chimed the barnacles, waving their arms around wildly. Electra called a meeting in the seaweed.
There's a grabber monster. It's silvery and shiny with an horrible long arm for grabbing. And it's over there, on that rock.
Ellie swam over to take a closer look at the strange creature on the rock.
It doesn't look very nippy to me,
said Ellie.
Look at its body.
She giggled.
It's full of holes and it's sort of scoopy.
Littly swam up.
It looks like fun, Dad,
chortled Littly. And she jumped straight onto the monster's scoopy body. Its long arm tipped up. Ellie jumped onto the monster's long arm and Littly went flying through the water.
Oh, come back, John,
cried Electra.
I'm all righty. It was fun.
Littly swam back, looking very pleased with herself.
Here, somebody jump on the arm. I want to go.
Chuckled Gruff, who was sitting in the scoop.
I will,
giggled Littly, but she wasn't heavy enough. So Ellie and Harry jumped too, and Gruff went flying.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you the amazing Zing Zing underwater acrobat!
Boomed Papa Clam.
Here comes Ellie the Jellyfish Jellyfish!
Gruff jumped on the arm. Ellie went flying. Papa Clam laughed so loud that the seabed shook.
I have never seen anyone have so much fun with a sieve.
Shouted everyone.
A sieve, I say, a sieve. The people up top use them to get the lumps out of things. The smooth bits fall through those whatchamacall holes, and the lumps get left in the scoopy bit.
Is somebody calling me a lump?
Grumbled Gruff, who was sitting in the sieve. Everyone laughed. That's the end of our acrobatics for today, giggled Ellie.
Imagine a story.
Oh, it's a Barnacle Rock story.
And it's called Tangleweed.
Papa Clam and Ellie say hi. Hi. Little Lee and Harry say ho. Ho. With Gruff and Electra they're gonna search for treasure down amongst the barnacles of Barnacle Rock. Yeah.
Once upon a tide at Barnacle Rock, it was ever so quiet when Gruff woke up. So he swam over to the barnacles and gave them a poke with his nose.
Where is everybody? It's too quiet.
He grumped.
We don't know, now off you go!
Chimed the barnacles, and they shot back into their shells. Gruff swam back to his slimy stone, but suddenly he heard a bit of a kerfuffle coming from the seaweed. Help! Somebody help!
Is that you, Ellie?
He went to take a closer look, and oh dear, a long thin creature had wrapped itself around the seaweed, trapping Ellie and Electra who'd been sleeping there.
Oh, Gruff, Chuck, thank goodness you're here. We've been trapped by a tangleweed.
Hissed Electra.
Tangled and mangled!
Harry and Little swam over.
I've heard about tangleweeds. They're squeezy,
said Harry nervously.
I don't want Ellie and Electra to be squeezed,
cried the baby seahorse.
No worries, Little. I'll have you out of there in a week.
Gruff picked up the end of the tangleweed and started to unwind it. Around and around he swam until he was quite dizzy. At last they were free. Thanks, Gruff, Ellie beamed. But hold on, something was wrong. Gruff was in a pickle. The tangleweed was wrapped around his middle and it felt very squeezy.
Somebody get it off!
He growled.
Oh, what's up, Gruff, the old cockle?
Boomed Papa Clam, appearing from under the sand.
He's been mangled by an horrible tangleweed. Oh.
Sparked Electra.
Oh, that's no tangleweed.
Guffawed Papa Clam.
It's just a bit of string. The people up top use it to tie things up. But it looks like you've managed to tie yourself up with it, Gruff. Oh, grab the end, Ellie, and spin him round.
Ellie found the end and whee! With a huge spin, she untangled the string. Gruff was free, but he felt rather giddy.
A piece of string is a wonderful thing,
boomed Papa Clam.
But what shall we do with it?
Said Harry.
I know, let's limbo,
cried Ellie.
A piece of string is a wonderful thing when you want to limbo. Wave your tentacles and waggle your fins when you want to limbo.
The sea creatures all had lots of fun limbo dancing under the string. That's the end of our limbo stringo adventure for today, giggled Ellie.
Imagine a story.
I wonder what it's going to be.
It's a Barnacle Rock story, and it's called The Grizzly Growler.
Papa Clam and Ellie say hi. Hi. Little Lee and Harry say ho. Ho. With Gruff and Electra they're gonna search for treasure down amongst the barnacles of Barnacle Rock. Yeah.
Once upon a tide at Barnacle Rock, Ellie was on her morning treasure hunt when something heavy plopped onto the seabed next to her, and it let out a growl. Help! She swam into the seaweed at top speed.
Oh, whatever's the matter, Ellie, love?
Hissed Electra.
A grizzly growler nearly squished me. It's true! We saw it too!
Chimed the barnacles.
And it's still there!
The creatures drifted over to the strange visitor. It had big, beady eyes, a chunky nose, and it was covered in brown fur.
It's a monster!
Cried Little.
Gruff swam out from behind his slimy stone.
I'm not scared of monsters.
But it's ever so growly. Ellie wasn't going to get too close, but Gruff swam straight up to it.
Now look here, Mr. Growly. What do you think you're doing, eh?
The furry creature said nothing, so Gruff gave it a nudge with his nose. Went the furry growler.
That's horrible.
Gruff zoomed back into the seaweed. The other sea creatures followed.
Grizzled and Gruzzled!
Cried the barnacles.
Grizzled and wattled.
Boomed Popper Clam.
Watch out for the growly, Poppy Clam!
Cried the seahorse baby.
It's all right, Littly. It's only a teddy bear. The people up top give them to their babies to cuddle. It won't harm you. It's a toy.
It does have rather a friendly face, said Ellie.
Can I have it? 'Cause I'm a baby.
Well, there's probably a very sad baby up top who's lost this teddy, Littly, my girl. We should try and push it up to the topmost wave.
Bellowed Popper Clam. But just then, something came splashing into the water.
Watch out! There's a net about!
Hissed Electra.
Don't panic, everybody. It's only after the teddy.
Boomed Popper Clam. And he was right. The net scooped up the teddy and disappeared. Littly looked sad.
Bye-bye, Growler.
She whispered. Gruff swam over and gave her a nuzzle.
Oh, Littly, I'm a pretty good growler myself, as it happens.
He let out a rather loud growl, and everyone laughed. I think that's more than enough growling for one day, giggled Ellie.
Imagine, imagine, imagine a story. It's a Barnacle Rock story. And it's called the Blurp Blurp Monster.
Papa Clam and Ellie say hi. Hi. Little Lee and Harry say ho. Ho. With Gruff and Electra they're gonna search for treasure down amongst the barnacles of Barnacle Rock. Yeah.
Once upon a tide at Barnacle Rock, Gruff found something wonderful on the seabed. It was stripy and bouncy, and it had a little nozzly nose.
Looks like a stripy puffer to me.
Gruff let out a little burp as a way of saying hello to the stripy puffer, and when it didn't answer, he gave it a nudge with his nose. Blurp, it said. Blurp, blurp. Then it danced a floaty bounce, bounce, dance and shrank a little.
Oh, you're a bit lovely.
Gruff chuckled.
Stay there. I'm just going to get my friends. I'm sure they'd love to meet you.
But the stripy puffer bobbity bounce bounced off. Further along the seabed, Harry and Littly were playing a game of pop down and pop up with the barnacles. Then the barnacles started to wave wildly. They whispered. Harry and Littly slowly turned around and...
Ah, it's a great stripy blob monster! Into the pouch!
Wailed Harry. Cried the barnacles. With Littly safely in the pouch, Harry swam off as fast as he could, nudging the monster as he went. Blurp, said the monster. Blurp, blurp. And it danced a floaty bounce, bounce, dance and shrank a little. In his hurry-scurry, Harry bumped into Gruff, Electra and Ellie.
Oh, whatever's the matter, Harry Chuck?
Barked Electra.
We see the bouncy, bouncy, blurp, blurp monster.
Whispered Littly.
That's no monster.
Grumbled Gruff.
It's a stripy puffer. Or it was.
Something had happened to the stripy puffer. It had shrunk till it was wrinkly and flat. Imagine that. It looks like a crinkly flat fish to me, said Ellie. Gruff looked sad.
I was sure it was a puffer fish like me.
Popper Clam appeared from under the sand.
Oh, cheer up, Gruff, me old cockle. That there whatchamacall is a beach ball. The people up top like to play with them. You can puff it up again if you blow through that nozzle.
The sea creatures wanted to play with the beach ball, so Gruff huffed and puffed and puffed and puffed and puffed and puffed and puffed, and soon it was big and bouncy again.
Oh, that's enough puffing for one day. Now it's time to play.
Hooray!